Hi there, welcome back to my channel, and if this is your first time here, my name is Eve Mapanda and I am a mindset and life coach for women, and I help women overcome fear and self-doubt so that they can achieve their fullest potential. So welcome, and make sure you hit the subscribe button. If you're coming back, thank you so much. Welcome back. I appreciate you, I love you, and thank you so much to everyone who sent me well wishes last week when I wasn't feeling well, where my voice was struggling, and I did like I think a half an hour long video, but I'm sure it was longer than that because I had to do some editing because my voice was just all over the place. But we got it done, we got it out, and that's what we're here for. So I am still on the topics of self-awareness, and it's going to be in different forms that I will be talking about self-awareness. And today I am going to be talking about diversions and distractions. Yes. One of the things that I hear a lot of women struggling with, or not just women, but just a lot of people who struggle with, is kind of not being able to get things done, or being in situations where they feel like they're continuously going round and round on a hamster wheel and kind of not getting to a destination because they never finish things. And I think I've spoken a little bit about it, but I'm going to focus on that on this episode. So I did make some notes down because I tend to talk because I'm so passionate about the subjects that I talk about. I tend to I tend to go over the time that I had initially planned to talk. So today I'm going to keep it short, I'm going to keep it sweet, and I am going to keep it right to the point. So the first thing is, I wanted to ask you, who and what has your time? It's very important to understand that question, because a lot of the things that you're probably doing, you're not supposed to be doing, you have no business doing. And a lot of the people that you're around, you probably have no business with those people. And I'm going to go into more detail into this. And we get in terms of being in situations where we're looking for a particular career, or even in business projects that we're supposed to be doing, or even just, for example, something that is a project that you have been stuck on for such a long time and you are struggling with it, or even just in relationships, being able to define those boundaries with people, because you feel like a lot of your time is spent on those things. And we have to be very clear in terms of what it is that we're supposed to be doing. And one of the things that's really helped me in terms of life-wise, relationships, is everything has its place. And I have understood what things need my attention. And it was very important for me to understand that, because I found myself being in a situation where I was constantly, I'm always doing something. I was always busy, but I didn't understand why am I always busy but never getting things done. And in that busyness, what I did was complain in terms of why I wasn't getting things done. But really, what I didn't understand was I was imposing most of the stress on myself, because I didn't have a structure of how to work. And the reason I asked you in the beginning, who and what has your time, is because some of the things that you're probably struggling with now are very easily, can be very easily managed if you understand that question, and if you understand what you need to be doing and who you need to be associating with. And I find that especially people who have so many relationships, or are constantly having to be in different places, I find that the people that I've spoken to the most in terms of they struggle with their time management, because when it comes to people that they have to that they feel that they have to constantly be there for people, they feel that they have to be in those relationships. And whereas if you look at it, if you've got, let's say for example, 20 friends or 30 friends, so I don't understand that, but anyway, for those of you who have that many friends, It's if you're getting that weekend invite, and you can imagine when families grow, then you've got then the families that who also want your time, and it becomes now a sense of where do you get time for yourself, where do you get time to actually plan your life, where do you get time to do the things that you want to do for your own life. Because it's very important that you understand what you're doing in terms of, if you're the type of person, and they call it FOMO, fear of missing out. If you always want to be involved in events, and you want to be in every place, that can be detrimental to your own growth. And it's really about understanding what activities need your attention, and who has your time. If it's, is it like is it a friend, where in terms of who's also a business associate, or you working together. And even if it's friends, there's nothing wrong with spending time with friends. It's about choosing when, and also being sensitive in a way where, when you're doing this, it's also to explain to your friends that this is what you're actually working on, communicating with them. And if you have friends that understand you, and even family members who understand that you've got goals and things that you're trying to achieve in life, they will understand your situation. So communicate with them, let them know when can you spend time with them. If you've got so many friends, it's about prioritizing which ones will you, and I know it sounds harsh, it's to prioritize the important friendships. So really, it's looking at what happens, because when you end up getting distracted, is you end up getting diverted into things that you're not supposed to be doing. And what then tends to happen is you never end up achieving your goals. So things that you have planned for yourself, you never achieve them. If you've got dreams, how are those dreams supposed to come true if you're all over the place? If you never finish something. And another thing about distraction is, even when you're in your goals, it's very important to understand what goals you're trying to achieve. Because I have seen a lot of people who get pulled in by shiny objects when they're working on things, and it's understanding this direction that I'm in, where is it taking me. And what tends to happen is, some people want to be in everything. They want to be involved in every single thing. And then they end up neglecting the things that are really gonna drive them forward. So if that's you, it's really taking a piece of paper, write down, everything that you want to achieve. And then, look at what is the priority of the first few things that you really want to achieve. Stick with them. And also persevere with that thing. And I know it can get difficult, especially if you've got a business, or even in relationships can get hard. It's really about persevering in terms of, for example, if you've got a business and you've got a certain project that you're trying to work on, is getting down to it, putting your head down, not complaining, because it will get hard. It's really about understanding what is the end product, what is the outcome of that thing that you're doing. And that is the only way you are going to succeed. And also look at the activity that you're doing, look at it from a positive standpoint. This activity that you're doing, where is it going to get you? And in terms of like relationships, when I talk about relationships persevering, I don't mean sitting in relationships where someone is abusive to you or someone's cheating on you. No, that's not what I mean. Marriage is not easy. That's one thing I have come to learn. It's not easy. It's about fighting for that relationship. It's working for that relationship. It's building together. It's understanding, communicating with each other. And in a sense, a lot of people, when they always talk about the first 5 years of marriage, and I never understood it until I got married. And the problem is, and living in the society that we live in today, is people want to kind of get to that point where, okay, they look forward to the wedding, but the work that actually comes after, they find that it's too difficult, and that perseverance is no longer there. That kind of the fight for that marriage is no longer there. So that again is something that needs time. It's again, who has your time? It's me working on my family, my marriage, and also looking at what's important. I have put everything on a list to say what is important in my life, and I am actively every single day working towards those things, because it's so easy to get distracted. It's easy to get diverted from what God has called me to do, and I'm sure it's the same thing for you. And it's really important to also be discerning what is it that you're supposed to be doing. If you're a prayerful woman, or even man, if you're watching this, it's really about, praying also about what are you supposed to be doing this thing. Is it your purpose? Is it your calling? It's important to understand all this information, because you find that sometimes we want things just because we want them. And I'll give you an example. It's, I was speaking to a client, and one of the goals was to go and complete a course in engineering. But then this was actually a he, and he wanted to do engineering, but then his heart was in business. And I already knew just from talking to him, he was much more passionate about the business. But then for some reason, because we are told in society that we need to get a degree, we need to, so he was so fixated on that degree. But he was already in business in terms of, but he wasn't registered. Exploring and, having these conversations with him, that he began to realize that actually I really want to now go full in on my business. And he did go all in his business. He laid out a plan and decided this is what he wants to do. And so that's an example. That could have taken 3 years for him to go do engineering, then come out of it and still have his business, start his business after 3 years. So what could he have done? He could have probably wasted those 3 years on something that he would have realized that he did not want to do. And therefore, that's what I'm talking about, diversion. We have to be very cautious in what is diverting our attention, and really look at, is it something that you really want to do from the bottom of your heart? So understand your why. Be disciplined, be consistent in, even if it's a project, be consistent with it. And if you get to a point where if you feel like there's something in you that is telling you that you're probably not aligned to this, to whatever it is that you're working on, or to the relationship, or whatever situation you're in, then it's really time to question that. And there's nothing wrong with asking for advice. There's nothing wrong with talking to someone about it. I mean, if you've got a coach in your life, it's a conversation that you can have with your coach, because I'm sure your coach will help you, gain more clarity in your situation. And even if it's something that, you're probably struggling with, just let me know in the comments and I'll be happy to address that. So just to wrap this up, important things is finding your why. Be consistent, be disciplined, and also create that list and prioritize the most important things. And don't get easily distracted by things. Don't get easily diverted from what you're supposed to be doing. There's always going to be a time to do more things, but you have to really stick to where you're trying to go, stick to what you're trying to do. And at the end of it all, it will yield results if you're patient. Patience for me, it's one of the things that I have been teaching myself, and also consistency. I've been appearing here every Monday. This is part of my challenge, to be also consistent with content creation, which is something that I was struggling with. So I also look at my weaknesses and ask myself, what do I need to work on? So I hope the tips that I've provided here have been helpful, and I will leave this here, because otherwise I will go on and I'll speak for about an hour. But yes, be sure to subscribe if you haven't yet, And again, I will see you next Monday. Thank you again for watching. Bye.